Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Cerebral Smack Talk Live on YouTube and StreamYard.com. It is Google MF Michael Fletcher alongside Anthony Floyo, Michael Bullock, and Dee Woodson. Guys, we're just going to dive right on in. We started it off with Smackdown Live as always, and, well, our first fight of the night we had was, the opening segment that we had was basically Roman Reigns coming out. Adam Pearce was already in the ring, and basically what was announced was that there was going to be a major announcement regarding the Universal title. And what happened was Roman cut it a promo. Then Adam Pearce was like, well, just like on Monday Night Raw, as they're gonna have Drew McIntyre defend his title at the Elimination Chamber, we on SmackDown had decided that we were gonna put you, Roman, inside the Elimination Chamber, and you would have to put your Universal title on the line. Well, Heyman comes up and he's like, wait, Roman, don't worry, I got this. And basically said that, well, Roman Reigns is going to defend his title because and he's going to defend the title at the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. However, Mr. Pierce, we will not defend it inside of Elimination Chamber. What you could do is, for all intents and purposes, you can do this. Have 6 guys go in there. Have them fight for the right to fight for the Universal title. The winner of that match will fight Roman Reigns immediately after the Chamber match for the Universal title. Adam Pearce wasn't really too keen on it. The WWE Universe weren't keen on it. But, as always, Roman got his way. So, Adam Pearce is like, alright, we're going to have qualifying matches later in the evening, but 2 men I want to throw into the chamber immediately. That they will be in the chamber. They don't have to fight a match. They don't have to earn their right. In my eyes, they deserve the opportunity at the chamber match. Jey Uso was the first man announced. The second man was Kevin Owens. Boy, did Roman flip when he heard KO's name. He bolts out of the ring, gets right in the face of Adam Pearce. Paul Heyman had to pull him away. No further action started. Oh boy. Ooh. So this is how we're going to start SmackDown, y'all, huh? I'll tell you one thing. It was far better than anything you did last week. Great. That's what we needed. A nice jump off to the show. Roman was excellent as a heel. So was Paul Heyman. And I actually got to give credit where credit's due to Adam Pearce. Nice kudos to kind of play with Roman, knowing that Roman was going to get his way. Alright, fine. But you still backed him into a corner. Nicely done. Well played, Mr. Adam Pearce. Anthony Floyo, man, we heard there was a major announcement about the Universal title. Wow. I know not the way that Raw does it, but SmackDown, Roman kind of trying to be head of the table, but, oh boy.
Oh boy is right. I mean, yeah, last week's show, we all know, was a dumpster fire. Not often we say that about SmackDown, but I'll tell you what, this definitely was a great way to start things off. Reigns and Heyman were great here. But I got to do some nitpicking here. Why is this a thing? Clearly, the winner of the chamber match is at an extreme disadvantage going into a Universal Championship match with a fresh Roman Reigns. Are we to believe that Roman has a special contract that allows him to downright refuse matches? Why hasn't he done so in the past? I understand that he's thrown his weight around to force stipulations and situations that play to his favor, but his dynamic with Adam Pearce has mostly allowed WWE management to one-up Roman and get him into matches. I'm not going to, harp on this too harshly, as I think what Reigns, Heyman, and Jey Uso are doing is enough to overcome most, if not all, shoddy booking. But I would have liked to have seen a little more pushback from Adam Pearce before he just threw in the towel and said, well, I can't make you do anything. But other than that, it was a solid segment. It didn't really reveal anything we didn't already know. We knew there would be qualifying matches, and we knew Roman would defend the title in some way at Elimination Chamber. And the Tribal Chief is great in this role, but this segment bordered on repetitive. We've seen him assert his authority with Adam Pearce before, so this didn't really tread any new ground. The twist of Jey Uso possibly earning a spot inside the chamber was the most interesting thing to come out of this. Heyman, Reigns, and Pearce were all good, and the segment was fine, but it was almost unnecessary. I'm sorry, I just gotta, be the man who tells it like it is. But it was a fine segment, though. I will give it that. Not much more to say. Michael Bullock, your thoughts?
Yeah, like you said, this. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm actually I agree with you, everything you said, Anthony Florio. It was a good segment, but I hate to say it, but it was good, but it was not great as far as I'm concerned, because, like Florio said, it's borderline repetitiveness, and yeah, we've seen this thing with Roman Reigns and Adam Pearce before, so it's like, why do we have to go down this route again? I can't wait to see it. It's going to be a good elimination. It's good what they're doing, but no, I just agree with everything Florio just said there. So there's really nothing more to add to it. Dee, what's in your thoughts?
Yeah, I can pretty much agree with that. It was a good segment to start with, but yeah, a lot of people will agree on this also that it's getting tiring seeing Roman Reigns, KO, and Adam Pearce in this little circle, and then of course, we're not done with it now that KO's in the Elimination Chamber. So yeah. Not going to add too much more. It's yours, Fletch.
Then we have the first fight of the night that was going to determine 2 spots into the Elimination Chamber. It was in a tag team format, guys, which is unprecedented. I don't ever remember a tag team format to determine spots for the Elimination Chamber, but they did it. Dominic and Rey Mysterio went up against King Corbin and Sami Zayn, and the winners of the bout in 7 minutes and 30 seconds and qualifying for the Elimination Chamber, King Corbin and Sami Zayn. Ugh! Anthony Florio, damn it! Just go.
There's only one reason why they did this, MF. Dominic Mysterio. Do you really think he's ready for a match like the Elimination Chamber? Is he? No. That's the only reason why these ham and egg jabronis went over. Sorry. But all kidding aside, about 2.25, 2.5 stars. As far as this match is concerned, all 4 guys did a decent job. Sami Zayn and Baron Corbin winning, like it or not, was the right call too, only because Dominic is not ready for a match like the Elimination Chamber. Seeing a father and son team up in the WWE ring is always fun, but when it comes to this feud, WWE needs to stick a fork in it because it should have been done by now. Corbin has fought both Mysterios in singles and tag bouts, with no meaningful storyline behind them so many times that it is almost too obvious that nobody has any idea what to do with the Mysterios now. Sami Zayn's pre-match promo was as good as you would expect. He is amazing at making a nothing match seem like a main event because he is so passionate in his delivery. But 2.25 to 2.5, that's the best I can give it for the match. But nothing more to say. Bullock, I mean, I would have preferred the Mysterios myself. I know everybody here would have preferred the Mysterios to win, but honestly, young Dominic is not quite ready for a chamber match. That's the only reason why these two, what's had to go over. Sorry.
Yeah, I understand it, but to me, and I'll be quite honest, guys, what did these two Hammondegger jabronis do to deserve at least a chance to be in the Elimination Chamber? They haven't proven anything to me.
Not a damn thing.
Exactly.
Seniority, guys. These are two of the guys who's been in the company long enough. As much as I hate it, they deserve the spots. They've been yes men. They fought when they needed it to fight. They haven't had any issues. I know Sammy with the COVID thing. I get it, but let me be forthright. If there was any two guys that actually is more deserving, these are it. As much as I may hate these guys' freaking guts, maybe I hate their gimmicks, they're deserving of being in the chamber. So for me, I hate to say it, but I'm with Florio. They made the right decision.
Yeah, I agree, but it's just it just rubs me the wrong way. I mean, that's just how I feel about it. Yes, they are the most deserving because of their seniority, but man, yeah, 2.25, 2.5 as far as I'm concerned. So I'm not going to add much more to it. Dee Dee Woodson, it's yours.
2.25, 2.5. Yeah, that sounds good. Me personally, I could think of several guys that would be better in this match than what they had. I mean, you could have stuck Nakamura in there because he's been in that picture, and he was in that gauntlet. And the only reason he didn't go was because of Reigns putting Pierce in there. I mean, there's a lot of other guys that I thought would be a little bit more deserving than what we got, but you do have to have the faces and the heels both in the match, so it kind of balances out all right. So as much as we all don't like the decision of the two that made it in, it is what it is. Yeah, Dominic's not ready yet, so plus not too many people want to see him face his dad right now. I mean, because he's still learning. He's still young. He's got a long way to go with his career. So yeah, not much more I'm going to add. It's yours, Fletch.
That would have been the ultimate opportunity for Dominic to be inside that chamber, but like you said, that's a different animal, guys. Being in one-on-one matches, being in everything else. He's already been, I believe, in like a Falls Count Anywhere or a hardcore match. He's been in those type of battles. But you're talking about an elimination chamber. I think you already know the words I'm about to say. 10 tons of steel, 2 miles of chains. You got internal pods that's made of plexiglass, the hockey style plexiglass. It's the diameter is almost 32 feet. It's like 32 feet out, 16, 20, almost 20 feet high now, with that dome over the top. Yes, I know it's WWE friendly because now they put the little ply boards. Boy, back in the day, it was pure steel that used to be on the outside. That outside grating you had. Now they had to do it and PG proof it by putting ply boards on the ground. Still hurts, but still, I prefer the early years of the Elimination Chamber. If you want the steel grid. Let it be diabolical, be evil. You want to walk into hell? Welcome to hell when you go into the elimination chamber. That's what that's supposed to be like. That was the brutality of the early days of the chamber. Oh,
The brutality of Hell in a Cell, the unpredictability of War Games, and the tradition of the Survivor Series.
oh yeah, absolutely. You nailed it, Florio. Absolutely. But I get it. I get why they did it. But as much as I know a lot of people are upset, there's a few people in the minority that are ecstatic. They're happy that Corbin and Sami Zayn is in there because you need heels in there as well. You need some guys that are veterans of the chamber, but I don't think Sami Zayn has ever been in the chamber. No, I don't. I know Corbin may have, but for Sami, I believe this is his first time in. I don't ever remember Sami Zayn ever fighting in Elimination Chamber. So this is his first time in, and boy, that's going to be interesting to watch. How's he going to play inside that chamber? We'll wait and see how that plays out. So, next up we had was, we had a little bit of some stuff going on. It was Nakamura versus Big E, Intercontinental title on the line. Big E wins the match in 3 minutes and 15 seconds via disqualification. Apollo Crews sticks his nose where it doesn't belong and jumps Big E. Obviously, he's got a major problem with Big E, but why? Why did you interfere in this match? I think this is an automatic NA. We got nothing more to say on this one. Next up, we had the return of Seth Rollins, but he's no longer the Messiah. He's the architect. Burn it down. That's right. He's back. He's a face. I'm all for it. I'm loving it. Let's freaking go. Michael Bullock. Hoo-wee. Seth Rollins is back, man. And he said it. His daughter, the birth of his daughter, changed him. He's no longer the Messiah. He's back to being the architect of WWE, man. He burned it down tonight.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, Oh, what did you say, Florio?
Wait, whoa,
No.
what?
No, he did not. Well, yeah, he came down to the burn it down. Yes, he did. But if you notice, he still spewed that same Messiah stuff.
All right.
He's not a face. He's still a heel.
You still think he's a heel? All right.
I don't think he is.
All right.
We know he is.
Yeah. So anywho, he's back, and basically, all I can say is, who knows what he's got in store now that he's back, and he's causing chaos, and that's bad news for the SmackDown roster. And and he certainly is going to be making one hell of an impact when it comes to this. So I would not want to be anybody right now on that roster. So yeah, welcome back, Seth. So there's nothing more to say. Dee Woodson, it is yours.
Yeah, he may have came down like a face and started his speech off like a face, but he quickly changed, and everybody that was at ringside left except for Cesaro. And then there at the end, he attacks Cesaro because Cesaro did not see his vision. So, yeah, there is no way in the world that this guy has gone face. He's still as much of a heel as he was before he left. I'm just glad he dropped the Messiah gimmick. I mean, that was getting kind of annoying. So I can handle this one a little bit better. So yeah, he still makes a really good heel, but nobody's going to follow him. Nobody's going to, he's not going to have what he had before with him and Murphy. He's pretty much, I think, going to be on his own for this one. So yeah, welcome back, Seth. Congratulations on the baby. Congratulations on being engaged to Becky. But not a face. He's a heel all the way. So it's yours, Fletch.
It's kind of one of those where he kind of gives you the illusion that he was going to be a face because of the burn it down thing and the whole 9 yards. But remember, I didn't get to see it. I'm just playing off of what I heard. So you got to cut me a little slack there, Florio. You know that. But anyway, look, the way Seth played this is basically try to garner the sympathy, the welcome back. You know he was going to get that. And you got to play it. And then the decision was, what were you going to do after that? Were you going to were you going to try to turn a new leaf, or were you going to try to I want to see where this goes. Because I think that's what we're going to see. How is he going to get the action? Who is he going to be paired up with? In what matches is he going to get on SmackDown? Because that's going to be the difference where, there was rumors that Seth was eventually going to try to upend Roman. That if Roman continues to be the tribal chief, that at some point Seth and Roman are going to run into each other, and Seth was going to be the one to upend them and win the belt. But we'll wait and see how that plays out. As far as this Messiah thing goes, yeah, I mean, a lot of people didn't like it at first. Now, if they're trying to tone it a little bit down, not be over the top about it, then we're going to see how this plays. I mean, that's going to be an interesting dynamic. Now, he's trying to be more wholesome, he talked about, and DDR talked about the engagement, the child, the baby that was born in December. So there's a lot of that dynamic in there. So we got that part already established, but we already knew that going in. What are they going to do with Seth Rollins, and who are they going to match him up with? Pray to God they don't pair him with the Mysterios again. We don't need that. We don't need that. But maybe a Daniel Bryan? I mean, we had some good wars over that. Maybe Nakamura? I mean, Nakamura right now is kind of caught in he's caught in a net right now. We thought he was going to get a push for the Universal title. It looked like he was on that pathway. Now it looks like he kind of got caught in a limbo here. He's got caught in purgatory. I don't know for what. He was getting a monster push. Everybody was pushing him, and then all of a sudden, everything. Now they're trying to scale him back a little bit. We're like, hey, what are you doing? Daniel Bryan, rumored to be winning the Royal Rumble, did not happen. Well, we'll get into Daniel Bryan because something happened to him tonight that was actually pretty awesome. And we'll get into that momentarily. So, I mean, there's a lot of ways this could go, but I don't know. So, nothing more to say. Florio, it's yours.
I'm sure you've heard of the old saying, too good to be true. And that's exactly what this was. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, MF. I was hoping that we were going to get the old Seth Rollins back. Because if it had been the Seth Rollins that was the frontline soldier of Monday Night Raw when he was the Intercontinental and Universal Champions, 2018 and 19, if you had gotten that Seth Rollins, SmackDown would be right there. It would be right there. No doubt about that. You would have he would be a perfect babyface foil for Roman and the whole tribal chief thing. It would have been. But unfortunately, we're stuck with with the Messiah thing. Unfortunately, he's still preaching that nonsense, and this character was the reason why I'm glad I was not as brokenhearted as I was when he got drafted to SmackDown. If he was still the frontline soldier Seth Rollins, then I would have been pissed. But honestly, I'm not anymore. And this is going to be your problem now, MF. You got to deal with this Messiah character. And as far as about what Seth Rollins could be doing in the future, I have heard a little rumbling that based on what we saw at the Royal Rumble. Remember what we saw at the Royal Rumble? Who eliminated Daniel Bryan in the Royal Rumble match?
It was Rollins.
That's right.
Rollins dumped him. Yeah, he dumped him out.
Possible rumor, maybe those two at Mania?
Whoa.
How would you like that, MF?
Ooh, that'd be a SmackDown attraction fight. I would be for that.
Oh yeah. Seth Rollins against Daniel Bryan, or as you remember them from ROH, Bryan Danielson and Tyler Black.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure they.
But they didn't really have that many battles though. Actually,
okay.
yeah, that was few and far in between. There wasn't really that many battles between Tyler Black and Bryan Danielson. So no, there hasn't been that many. There's been some in WWE, but as far as like outside of WWE, there wasn't really that many matches though. So no.
Oh, okay, I stand corrected. But anyways, I mean, there is a rumor going around that we could get a Rollins Bryan match at WrestleMania, and I would love to see it. Even though I hate Seth Rollins' gimmick, I really do. I like that frontline soldier Seth Rollins better. But the man who carried Monday Night Raw for a good couple of years, and made me happy to have him. But anyways. Personal feelings aside, Rollins said he had been changed by the birth of his daughter, but then proceeded to spew the same nonsense about being a savior. Nothing has changed. This would have been a perfect opportunity for him to ditch the Messiah stuff, but it looked more like he was doubling down. We'll see where it goes, but for now, it looks like Rollins is still the same Messiah he was last year. The promo he gave was fine, but it won't be among his most memorable. The SmackDown roster walking out on him did not have the impact it should have, but that is because it made no sense for everybody to be out there in the first place. So, yeah, weird segment. That's all there is to say. It was a weird segment, and so that's really all I can say on that. So keep praying, MF. Maybe one day you'll get that frontline soldier Rollins, and if you do, and if and when you do, then SmackDown will be back.
Yeah, we'll wait and see. I mean, it's gonna be very interesting to see. We'll see. So, all right. So next up, we had on the show Bayley versus Liv Morgan. Bayley wins the match in 3 minutes and 45 seconds, which is gonna gloss right that over. Next up, we had with Street Profits versus Chad Gable and Otis. Street Profits wins the match in 4 minutes and 50 seconds. Then, I guess you could say after the match was over, Sasha Banks made her way out to the ring, and she and Montez had a little moment of a little dance going. Sasha, sweetheart, big problem. Do you know who Montez Ford's with? Do you know who won the Royal Rumble this year? Now there was no friction, no problem, because it seems like Bianca was cool with it, but I'm just saying. And actually, there was actually another problem. So there was a promo, Sasha Banks interrupted by Bianca Belair, and Bianca did not make her decision. Still hasn't made the decision. but it's starting to seem like she's leaning towards SmackDown. I think she's leaning towards SmackDown. Well, before we could even get anything, we got an interruption. The WWE Women Tag Team Champions, Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax shows up and jumps both women. Oh, okay. You're really doing it now. You really want to go there, ladies? Okay. You just made the biggest mistake. Well, I hope you made the biggest mistake. We'll see. So, I mean, Dee Woodson, there's a lot to dissect here, but it looks like Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler might have just created a little bit of a monster here because obviously on Monday Night Raw you got Naomi and Lana, but now you just picked a fight with the EST of WWE and the Boss?
Yep. Basically, you did. But of course, they brought up the notorious segment that has broke the internet all week on Nia Jax. The butt episode. Her talking about her holes. And that's what started the brawl. And of course, before we even saw that, we got to see Shayna get pinned by Naomi. So basically, the two in the ring pretty much proved that you can beat the tag team champions, and you can do it with little to no talent. As we all know, Lana is not the best wrestler in the world. Yeah, she's gotten a tad bit better, but she's still very weak in the ring. And her picking up the win that way was creative, but still, I don't think that Nia was supposed to address that particular area on Monday night. And then here we amplify it on Friday with Sasha and Bianca. It looks like this may lead possibly to a tag team fight with these four. So we'll have to kind of see how this plays out. But yeah, that they definitely opened a can of worms that I don't think Shayna and Nia is going to be able to close anytime soon. So, and we all know what Bianca can do with that hair. I mean, she proved it last week when she whipped Carmella's guy with it.
That wasn't just a whipping. That was that I don't even know. I can't really say what it was because I don't want to get myself in trouble. But that was
like, pay me food and I'll give you your book.
Yeah, that was pretty bad. What we saw.
Yeah, and she's been known to use her hair as a whip before.
Oh yeah.
And so yeah, she's definitely going to go after anybody, and she's going to use whatever tactics she can use. She's going to use whatever parts she can use, because we know that hair comes into play a lot. It did in NXT. It's coming in play now. So yeah, definitely Miss EST, I think, is coming in strong finally. I mean, she came in weak when they first brought her up. She's finally coming in strong now, and we're going to see a strong showing from her. And I think they've got her so fired up now that, you know, there's nowhere for her to go other than to go up. So we'll just see what happens with this and where it leads. because we're still in the air on who she's going to face at WrestleMania. So we have 2 pay-per-views before then. So let's see if this goes into a tag team match.
Yeah,
What's your
obviously.
selection?
Obviously, no doubt about it. I totally agree with that. I'm wondering why, and the question is, I'm a little shocked that Bianca didn't. Maybe Bianca thought, oh, it was innocent. There was nothing between her and Montez and Sasha. Because I don't know about anybody, but if another man who's with, if you're dating or I don't, okay, Dee Dee, let me throw this at you, and I'm just gonna be honest. Would you? I mean, if that would have happened to your husband Kevin, I mean, would you consider that like innocent, or would you have been like, whoa, wait a minute, no?
Do I even have the thing that I'm supposed to?
A lot of it would depend on the situation.
Ah,
In this case, it looked a little bit more innocent. It didn't look like she was actually going after him. She
All
didn't
right.
touch him.
All right.
I mean, they just danced. That was about it.
All right.
So I think this one was a little more innocent. So
Much to do about
slide's
nothing.
okay. Yeah, the slide's okay on that. Because a lot of the females, when they got, when somebody's done that, it's been hands-on, and this one wasn't hands-on. So, yeah.
All right.
The slide's okay.
All right. So because that's always that's because there's always this gray area. So there's always a gray area. You never know how that's gonna go. So if Dee Dee deems it worthy that it seemed like it was nothing, and I seen it was clean and all right, fine by me. So, but I will say this: with this comeback, is this gonna be one of those factors that comes back later on that might be a contributing factor to what Bianca makes her decision on? I mean, that's gonna be one thing that we're gonna see. One other thing with Nia and with Shayna, you might have just opened the door for a possible triple threat for the WWE Women Tag Team titles. You've been dealing with Naomi and Lana. Now you just opened the door for Sasha and Bianca to jump in here? Alright, hold up. Now you started something. The way you started picking that fight, but I'll openly admit, maybe Bianca and Sasha maybe brought this on themselves by making the comments that they made, and that started the brouhaha. But they're confident. They're I mean, Sasha Banks is the SmackDown Women's Champion. Bianca Belair won the Royal Rumble. So obviously they're riding high. They got a lot of momentum riding on their wave right now. Yes, I get it. Shayna and Nia won the titles at the Royal Rumble pre-show. They got the belts, so they're riding high. But now Lana got a major win over Nia Jax in the tables fight. Naomi knocked off Shayna Baszler on last week's Monday Night Raw. So they're riding high. Something's got to give at this point. Anthony Florio, it's yours. Solid segment.
No. I'm sorry, it wasn't good. I mean, Belair and Banks appear to have some really good chemistry, both as friends and partners and potential opponents. Let them shine on their own and stop inserting unnecessary roadblocks. Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler are ice cold, and Nia Jax is a borderline comedy act after the infamous My Hole incident on Monday night. I think it would be a mistake to get Belair and Banks involved with these two right now, unless the plan is to quickly swap the women's tag team titles to Banks and Belair, leading to a friendly competition between friends and tag team champions at WrestleMania. That could work, and I wouldn't hate it. But I would rather they just let these two tell a great story as respectful opponents going into their potential match at Mania. That's just how I feel. But not much more to say. Michael Bullock, your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm with Florio on this one. I really wasn't a big fan of this segment either. It was literally all over the place here. Yeah, it just didn't look good for me. So I'm just being honest here about this one. So sorry, Fletch, it's yours.
Fair enough, fair enough, fair enough. Main event, guys. This is going to determine the final two spots in the Elimination Chamber, as we had the SmackDown Tag Team Champions Robert Roode and Dolph Ziggler going up against Daniel Bryan and Cesaro. Daniel Bryan and Cesaro makes it to the chamber. 11 minutes and 15 seconds after the match. All of the participants all got into a brawl. Nice brawl to close the show. I'm happy with the 6 that they got. Yes, I understand. Probably the only nitpick I got is seeing Sami Zayn and King Corbin in there. But when it was all said and done, oh my goodness. Nice brawl. Nice little thing. As it basically ended up being every man for themselves. I'm going to give this fight of the night 3.5 stars for me. 3 to 3.5. Solid end, but I'm happy with the right men. The right men got through. Daniel Bryan and Cesaro, the most deserving of the men going into the Elimination Chamber. These two guys, man alive. Are you talking about big names? Daniel Bryan has won an Elimination Chamber. He's been in the fight before. And Cesaro? Oh my God. Imagine the Swiss Superman inside the Elimination Chamber, man. Oh my God. I could imagine the damage he's gonna cause in there. His European knuckle up attitude style. The Swiss Superman, man. I can't wait to see somebody. I want to see somebody get Cesaro swung inside the chamber, man. Floyo, I give it to you. Good match.
Good match, great match. That's what it is. I'll even go as far as to call it fun. 3.5 stars, hands down, the fight of the night. The show saver. This saved the show here, no doubt. Fun tag match, and like MF said, the right team won. I do, however, question the decision to book a match like this in the first place, since I'm a stickler for wanting to give some level of protection to the tag team champions. However, the right team won here without question. Cesaro is, as Michael Cole said, red hot, and Bryan is a Teflon upper mid-card guy who can always be in a contendership situation. Both will make for entertaining additions to the chamber match from a match quality perspective. And I can't help but feel like Cesaro could be the odds-on favorite to win the thing. The post-match brawl was predictable and token WWE, but it was entertaining nonetheless. Kevin Owens has been such a great main event babyface, and though I do think the story with Roman Reigns has run its course, Owens is believable enough and convicted enough to keep me invested. And the least shocking thing about this show tonight was that this fight ended up being the best fight of the night. Ziggler, Roode, Cesaro, and Bryan are some of the most reliable performers in the world, so they had no problem working together. So far, so now we have our 6. We got King Corbin, we got Daniel Bryan, we got Cesaro, we got Sami Zayn, and you got Kevin Owens, and you got Jey Uso. Those are your 6. And the winner of that match will face the tribal chief, Roman Reigns, for the Universal Championship. Me personally, I like to see Cesaro get it, but my gut is telling me that they want to give Owens one more shot. I don't know why. Like I said, it's run its course, even though it's been great.
I'm calling for Daniel Bryan.
I wouldn't mind that either.
I'm calling it right now. Daniel Bryan wins the match.
Okay. Well, that's a little spoiler for next week, because next week is the go-home show for the Elimination Chamber. So we'll be throwing out our predictions on that as well. So, but that's next week. So 3.5 stars. Fight of the night for me. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Michael Bullock, if not for this match, this show would have absolutely sucked. This literally saved the show tonight.
Yeah, this literally saved the show from being another absolute train wreck and disaster. And yeah, 3.5 stars for me. I agree. I mean, this was a great match to close out the show, and yeah, there's really nothing more to say. Fletch, let's get into overall thoughts.
Beforehand, we got to give it to D.D. Woodson.
Yep.
Sorry. I think I know what's coming, Dee Dee, but get it out of your system.
Yeah. Okay. I'll let it slide this time, but don't do it again. I don't have a woodshed in this apartment, unfortunately, but I can find one. All right. It's stormy. Yeah, this definitely was a fight of the night. So, yeah, I can agree with the rating. I'm not going to add too much more to it, though. So I'll let you guys go on.
Florio, overall review is yours. You even admitted it that the main event saved the show. So, how close was it from going off the cliff?
It would have been even worse than last week, if I'm going to be honest with you. But it was a messy affair. There's unquestionably a rush to book Elimination Chamber with such a short turnaround following the Royal Rumble. I wish there would have been a quicker turn of the page last week to avoid the frantic nature of tonight's show. But this is par for the course with WWE booking. I dislike the flippant, dismissive, and passive attitude of Adam Pearce on this show and his willingness to just sort of bend to Roman Reigns' will with minimal to no pushback. I also question the means of establishing the contenders and feel underwhelmed by the sterility of Seth Rollins' majorly hyped return. However, there were positives. Roman Reigns and company's performances continue to carry the show. Kevin Owens continues to shine as a main event babyface, and the resurgence of Cesaro has been a welcome addition to Friday nights. SmackDown is still in a solid place week over week, and I look forward to the storytelling settling in a bit following this quick pay-per-view turnaround. Decent episode of SmackDown, but it was a notch below some of the recent episodes in terms of moving storylines forward. A lot of what we saw felt repetitive, a la Monday Night Raw. So I could probably give this maybe a thumbs in the middle, probably like a 5 out of 10, maybe. I don't know, but you better be counting your lucky stars, MF, and counting your blessings, because that main event literally saved this show from being even worse than last week, where it was so bad we had to cancel the damn thing. But then again, MF had work commitments anyway, so it is what it is. So 5 out of 10, I think that's the best I can go. So not much more to say. Bullet, good thing we didn't have a SmackDown chat tonight, because I think we would have been very snoozed out by it.
Yeah, I agree. I think we both would have been snoozed out on this one. So yeah, 5.5 out of 10 for me as well. I agree with it. So yeah, there's really nothing more to add to it. So I'm just gonna give it to you, D.D. Woodson.
Sure. Yeah, I can pretty much kind of agree with the rating. I mean, I got into the Thunderdome and I was actually yawning through part of it. So, yeah, I can go about thumbs in the middle, 5.5. So, not much more I'm going to add. It's your selection.
5.5. I totally agree with everything that you guys have said tonight. Up to this point, I kind of feel like SmackDown's lost its identity, guys. I mean, earlier in the year, they were killing it. They were far better than this, and I don't know. It seems like they've lost their way or something. I've never seen WWE. I never seen them just kind of hit this snag or whatever you want to call it. I don't know what's going on. Well, whatever the case may be, we're gonna move on. We're gonna move right on along, guys. So next up we have, well, here we go. NXT Vengeance Day is going down on Valentine's Day from Orlando, Florida at the GWC, the Global Wrestling Center. And we will start it off with, you know what? Let's do it this way, guys. We're going to start it off with the triple threat for the NXT Women's title. Io Shirai, Toni Storm, and Mercedes Martinez. This is a tough call. Out of all of the matches, this may be the toughest of them all. God, this could go anyway. I mean, Mercedes could get the rub. Toni could get the rub. Io could get the rub. I kind of feel like right now, I just don't see how Io doesn't lose this. I don't know. This is a tough call. About a month or so ago, Mercedes Martinez looks like she was going to be the one that was going to do it. Because remember, she won the War Games for her team. And on top of that, she got the winning fall by knocking off the champion. I kind of feel like right now, God, if it was just Mercedes versus Io, I think Mercedes wins it all. But because Toni's in there, I think it's going to cancel it out. I got Io Shirai keeping the belt and successfully defending. Anthony, like I said, this is the toughest of them all. I just don't know how this is going to play out. It's yours.
No, not so tough for me. You're exactly right on that. You got this one exactly right. It is Io Shirai, no doubt about it. When it comes to me, I could say the same thing about another match on this card that's really tough for me. I'll let you know when we get to it. But for right now, let me see. Shirai has been a great champion in the ring, but her title reign has lacked in solid storylines. Toni Storm and Mercedes Martinez have both been eyeing the NXT Women's Championship, leading them to form a team for the Dusty Classic over their bond of hunting Shirai in the belt. That would backfire when Shirai interfered in their first round match, costing them their spot in the tournament. I believe that was against Catanzaro and Carter, and raising the ear of the challengers even more. They still share the same goal, though now as opponents in the upcoming triple threat match. Martinez and Storm feel like future champions, though it doesn't feel like either one is ready to be elevated quite yet, leading to the champ to retain in what should be a fantastic match. But then again, you can say the same thing about every match on this card. So, winner and still the NXT Women's Champion, the genius of the sky, Io Shirai. So not much more to say on this. Michael Bullock, does your face of the women's division continue her incredible run, or does it end on Sunday night?
Yeah, I think I think the run for Io Shirai is going to continue. I mean, yes, it'll be a tough defense, but yeah, I just don't see how she loses this one. So I agree. Winner and still the NXT Women's Champion, the genius of the sky, Io Shirai. So nothing more to say. Let's move on.
Mike, you did it again, bro.
Oh,
Don't tell me I did.
Oh,
You did it again. You did it again, bro. You better run. You better run. You better run.
Can I?
You
go?
better
I think I better leave now, guys.
Couldn't wait to say no, could you, Bullock? No, Didi, no.
I think it's time for me to head out after this.
Are you laughing at
I said let it slide once, not twice.
All of them.
But I am going to make it unanimous, even though Bullock's in the doghouse. So it's yours, Fletch.
All right, guys. With that said, we're just gonna move on. We're gonna move right on along. All right, here we go. It's time. We're gonna start with the Dusty Classic, the final matches. We're gonna start with the women. It will be Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez versus Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart. The winner of this tournament will receive a future WWE Women's Tag Team title match sometime down the line. There's been a couple of teams that has gotten an opportunity to fight for the WWE Women's Tag Team titles thanks to on the Black and Gold brand, because remember, the title is exclusive to all three brands. So, Anthony Florio, who gets it? Who will be the lucky team that will get a future shot at the WWE Women's Tag Team titles?
Well, I should have mentioned that there are a few matches on this card that are tough, and this is one of them. I mean, you know how high I am on Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez, especially going into that match against Casey Canton Zero and Caitlin Carter that we saw on NXT television, and I told you that Dakota and Raquel were going to win the match, but I got this feeling, I think they want to go for the heel babyface dynamic here. Even though I would love to see Dakota and Raquel get the opportunity, WWE has spent a lot of time very high on Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart, with the latter especially emerging in the past 6 months as someone the promotion trusts to be a key face for events. The duo of Moon and Blackheart getting a brief feud with WWE Women's Tag Team Champions Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler also feels like an appropriate reward after they finish navigating the field in this first ever Dusty Women's Classic. So the winners of the inaugural Women's Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic, Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart. Not much more to say. Michael Bullock, historic Women's Dusty Tag Team Cup here. Who's taking it home?
And that's a tough one for me. I mean, but yeah, I'm in agreement here. I'm going to go with Shotzi Blackheart and Ember Moon because, I mean, I think they should be the ones to get a future shot at the women's tag team titles. I mean, nothing against Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai because I think they got bigger things for Raquel Gonzalez somewhere down the line. So there's really nothing more for me to say. So now, Dee Woodson, it is yours.
I'm going to agree. I think it'll be Amber Moon and Shotzi Blackheart. So it's yours, Fletch.
You know what? I don't know why. Because here's the thing. You kind of have to figure it like this way. They're not going to get the title shot right away. I don't think they're going to do that. Which means Nia Jax, because remember, Nia and Shayna are already locked into a couple of title matches. It looks like. It looks like Nia and Shayna is going to have to deal with Lana and Naomi. And I think they'll get by them. Then they're probably going to run into Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair. And I don't think they're getting by that. I'm gonna have Sasha and Bianca win the belts. So now you got that dynamic, and it goes the reverse. Now I would think that Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez will win. They'll get the shot. And believe it or not, Mike Bullock, for the first time ever I think the WWE Women's Tag Team title is going to be on the black and gold brand. I'm actually going to call for it sometime down the line. So I disagree with all three of you. I'm going to lone wolf this. Ow! Shotzi and Ember. Sorry, ladies. Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai, the first ever women's Dusty Rhodes Classic Tag Team winners. Next up, we got is the men's final. It's MSK, Nash Carter and Wesley. They're gonna go up against James Drake and Zach Gibson, the grizzled young veterans. Michael Bullock. The winners of this tournament will get a future NXT Tag Team title shot. Who wins? Who you got?
Yeah. Who's in the final six young veterans?
Grizzled young veterans and MSK.
Ooh, this is another. I mean, I've been impressed with MSK up to this point, but there's just something about the grizzled young veterans that I think yeah, I mean, so to me, I'm gonna go with the grizzled young veterans to win this. I mean, I think it's too soon for MSK to get a chance at it. I mean, they'll get an NXT title shot somewhere down the line, but I just think it's too soon for them. So to me, the winners of the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic on the men's side, the grizzled young vets. Dee Woodson, it's yours.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I think the Grizzly Young Vets are going to walk away with it such much.
Remember, Grizzly Young Veterans was in the finals 1 year ago and lost. I think this is going to be the year that they finally get the moment. They're going to get the rub, and I'm with you on this one, guys. So I'm going to say it. Winners of the Dusty Classic, the Grizzly Young Veterans. I think they're going to get the loss that they got from a year ago. They're going to get it back. They're going to rewrite history. They made it to the finals a year ago. They're going to win it this year. So, Anthony, it's yours.
Wow. You guys make a great point for the grizzled young veterans. I mean, coming so close last year, losing to Matt Riddle and Pete Dunne, the Broserweights. This is so tough to call. I mean, the gut's telling me to go with grizzled young veterans, but my heart is telling me to go with MSK. Because MSK has been introduced to the NXT audience in a very strong way, with the experienced team blazing their way to the finals to face off with former NXT UK tag champs Drake and Gibson. If anything, it feels like the right approach to let MSK get the win to fully establish them as a new force in the tag team division, with Drake and Gibson already locked in as an accomplished and dangerous team. That's the argument I could make for MSK, but I got to make it unanimous here. I got to go with my gut on this one. I got to go with the grizzled young veterans, especially after last year. But don't be surprised if MSK, could you imagine if MSK wins here? I mean, guys, think about this. MSK, about a month or two ago, were in Impact Wrestling as part of the Rascals with Trey Miguel. You remember them? Zachary Wentz and Desmond Xavier. I mean, after watching those boys on Tuesday nights on Access TV for a long time, I know firsthand how damn good and talented these young men are. And Michael Bullock, I'm glad you're recognizing that. And but I would love to see them get it myself. I really would. But I'm gonna go with the gut here, even though I want to go with my heart. I'll go with the grizzled young veterans, but like I said, don't be surprised if MSK steals this thing. And if they do, they're going to become an immediate player in the tag team division. So, not much more to say. I'm going to go with the GYV. So, with that being said, MF, let's get to the North American Championship match. A match we thought we were going to lose, but oh boy, it turned out to be, well, eh.
Yeah, and it is going to happen. We're going to get it. Kushida going one-on-one with Johnny Gargano, the North American title on the line. And I believe it goes to Dee Woodson. So, Dee, you lead off on this one. Does the time splitter Kushida finally realizes his dream and becomes North American champion? Or does Johnny Gargano find the way and keep the NXT North American title?
Yeah, this is one of the tough ones for me. I mean, both these guys are excellent at what they do. Where Florio was torn on the last one, I'm torn on this one. Where my heart wants to go with Kushida and my brain wants to go with Gargano because of everything that's been going on. But I'm going to go ahead and pull the trigger and say Kushida's going to pull it off. So it's yours, Fletch.
I agree. Oh boy, this is tough. You know what? I'm going to say it. Gargano wins. I think Gargano's going to keep the title. I don't think there's anything that I can say about it. For me, winner, still NXT North American Champion, Johnny Gargano. Anthony, it's yours.
And you sound a little saddened by that, MF.
Because honestly, I know Kushida's body of work. Yep. I know him really well, but I just got a sick feeling the way he's gonna get involved and they're gonna cost him the fight.
Yeah. There are two matches on this card that we have feelings about, MF. I mean, I know this is the one for you because combined between myself, Bullock, and Didi, we don't know much about Kushida. You know damn near everything about this guy. I mean, because you've watched him. You obviously watched him in New Japan, and I know he tore the house down on a gazillion occasions. And I know you know his resume and his body of work and everything else. And I know how badly you would love to see Kushida win the title. And if he wins the title, look out, folks. MF will bounce around like Tigger. Trust me, he will. And just like I'll bounce around like Tigger if MSK, fresh out of Impact Wrestling, win the men's Dusty Cup. But MF is right. After playing around with the idea that Gargano had suffered a broken arm, which left him in a wheelchair because his walk is so powerful he can't do it without swinging his arms, and would not be able to defend his title, the ruse was exposed by Mr. Regal, and the match is back on. Gargano has emerged as a fantastic heel, bucking the idea that he was a forever face in NXT, even though I liked him that way. But with the addition of the Way in his corner, it seems like a bit of Austin Theory interference will help Gargano hold on to the belt against the fiery challenge of Kushida. So I know how much MF wants it, but I'm sorry, MF. Your boy's not going to get the Duke. As much as I would love for him to get it, I'm right there with you. But winner and still the NXT North American champion, Johnny Gargano. Bullock, it's yours.
Yeah, I'm going to make it unanimous. Johnny Gargano is going to retain the North American Championship. He's going to find some way to retain it. And like you said, Austin Theory to me is definitely going to get involved in this and cost Kushida a chance to become the champ. So nothing more to say. I think it's yours now, right?
It is mine. DD led off, so no, you're fine, Bullock. You won't get to pull the hat trick. Main event, guys. The NXT title on the line. Finn Balor versus Pete Dunne. I get to lead off on this. This is going to be a bona fide fight. This is going to be a scrap. This is going to be a brawl. This is going to be everything that you expect. Hard-hitting, be a man. There's going to be manipulations all over the place. But when it's all said and done, Finn Balor wins the match, successfully defends the NXT title. I think he'll keep the belt a little while longer. Anthony, it's yours. Tony?
No, I'm right here. I'm right here.
All right, all right.
It was frozen for a minute.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that happens.
Yeah. First things first, I will make an admission to this. I reckon I'm going to be doing a lot of cringing during this match. And MF, you know better than anybody the reason why I'll be doing a lot of cringing during this match. Mr. Broserweight's gonna, I reckon, is gonna be doing a lot of joint manipulation, and you know how queasy that makes me and squeamish that makes me. But but I will make another admission. I'm gonna go on the record and say this has a chance to be an early contender for match of the year in 2021 because of the body of work of these two guys. This is gonna be the fight of the night. If this thing is not a 5-star classic, I'll be shocked, because this has the potential to be a 5-star classic. Pete Dunne, with Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch, the tag team champions, by his side, has been demanding a title match, including executing several attacks that forced Balor into an alliance with the Undisputed Era. Those various ties leave a lot of outside factors that could come into play during this championship clash. It feels like just a matter of time until Pete Dunne has his time as NXT champion, especially with Triple H as one of his biggest supporters. However, it's hard to see Sunday night serving as the crowning moment. I got to go with my gut here. My gut's telling me to go with Finn Balor, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. Winner and still the NXT champion, Finn Balor. Michael Bullock, get ready for what I believe will be a 5-star Shakespearean drama classic and an early 2021 match of the year contender for sure.
Oh, I agree 100%. I think this is definitely going to be not only the fight of the night, but one of the top contenders for fight of the year up to this point. So, as much as I want to see Pete Dunne win the title, but I got to go with the Finn Balor to retain it. So, winner and still the NXT champion, Finn Balor. Dee Woodson, it is yours.
Finn Balor, enough said. Let's put the bow on.
All right, and we'll do that on Sunday night. We'll recap it. Sunday night, immediately after the show goes off the air. That will be maybe 10:15. We don't know. But we will be here on Sunday night after the show goes off the air. And until then, for Anthony Floyo, for Dee Woodson, Mike Bullock, I'm Mike Fletcher. See you guys on Sunday night for the recap of Vengeance Day, NXT Takeover. Good night, everybody.